it's time to sit back and relax with your favorite drink. And listen. I'm an undercover FBI agent on the deep web by BeardedVeteran. My name's Special Agent Barry Allen. Not my real name, of course. It's actually my code name, given to me by my colleagues. You may recognize the name from the comic book character The Flash. I was given this name due to my quickness to obtain IP addresses, bypass firewalls, and hack into certain deep websites and shut them down. Well, this is my area of expertise. However, I've also been assigned to a joint task force before, which tracked and arrested drug runners, firearms dealers, and human trafficking rings. Believe it or not, the federal government is everywhere. Social media, Reddit, YouTube, you name it. We have our guys on it. We monitor everything. Well, that being said, the FBI only has jurisdiction to operate within the borders of the United States. In this new digital age we find ourselves living in, cybercrime is much more of a direct threat, now more than ever. Yes, in the past, we feared as a nation biological and chemical warfare. As an example, right after 9/11, the United States had an anthrax attack. In the FBI, it was known as Amerithrax. Letters were mailed containing anthrax spores to several news media offices and to Democratic Senators Tom Daschle and Patrick Leahy, killing 5 people and infecting 17 others. Once the victim opened the letters, they'd immediately be exposed to the spores. Inhaling them is the most deadly form of the attacks, and it quickly destroys your immune and respiratory systems. Back then, there were no known cures, and it was difficult to treat as the symptoms oftentimes confused doctors. The death rate once exposed was nearly 95%. No one was ever officially arrested or tried as the primary suspect for this horrific crime. If you ask me, though, the scariest part of this investigation is where it led us. To a lab on an army base. Essentially, the US Army was weaponizing anthrax using independent scientists specializing in microbiological warfare. Of course, though, if you wanted to bring down Western civilization today, all you'd have to do is manipulate or destroy our satellites, and we'd be back in the Dark Ages. Computers, banks, grocery stores and cell phones, power plants, even the water filtration system runs with electronics and the ability to communicate with satellites. Essentially, our world now depends on this. It's scary to think about, especially when 14-year-olds are hacking into the largest banks in the world from their mother's basement. Somehow they're able to bypass the best security systems we know of. Well, I personally believe they're using password skimmers. We joke in my department that in order to work for us, you simply only need to be smarter than a teenager. My background is in IT while in the military. While serving, I also obtained several certifications and degrees in my field. I worked alongside someone I never thought I would. Turns out the federal government oftentimes hires former hackers to consult for them. In fact, they have an army of internet soldiers at their disposal. I was actually trained by a convicted felon, and it's been said he's one of the best hackers in the world. Eventually, I was put in contact with men in the FBI, and essentially went through a series of rigorous tests to determine my operating field of work. After seeing our skills, they then placed myself and the felon on the Cyber Anti-Terrorism Unit, or CAT as we call it. Our first assignment was to locate a man on the deep web known only as Captain Death. He runs this anonymous site in which the viewers would donate Bitcoin to watch unspeakable acts of torture, mutilation and murder, oftentimes called Red Rooms. After searching for a while, clicking on every single link given to us, we found the exact link which directed us to the host site. We visited the website. For a moment, the page was completely black, so we waited a few moments, and suddenly a bright red-colored text appeared across the top of the screen. Welcome to the House of Pain. Tonight's events will commence in 2 minutes. Enjoy. Looking over to my colleague, Jeff begins penetrating the site's security systems, attempting to find the IP address of the host location. viewing the site still with my eyes locked onto the screen, and using my laptop separate from Jeff's. Suddenly the monitor goes black, then a video attempts to load, buffering now for several minutes. "Yeah, any luck, Jeff?" I ask. "I'm searching for a weakness in the security firewall. Give me a minute," he responds. Frustrated, I say, "We may not have a minute." Using access control, Jeff's able to find and manipulate the user's login information, bringing down the video before it begins. Believe it or not, one of the weakest points to a website can oftentimes be its login feature. Jeff had found a vulnerability in the source code software, and he exploited it. Still haven't found the guy, though, as that process is much more difficult. For now, we can rest a little bit easier, though, knowing his account is compromised. The best hack is when you can invade a security system and not ever be noticed. But this was not one of those instances. "Who are you?" appears on Jeff's computer screen. He responds quickly, "The Dark Knight," in bold green text as he looks over the offender's account, attempting to track down banking information, any recent transactions, even Bitcoin exchange. Searching over the vast amount of data pouring into the site, it seems they have gone through great lengths to keep themselves hidden from the public. The identity of the perp is still unknown. Patting Jeff on the shoulder, I thank him for saving my eyes from witnessing God only knows what. I suppose for now it's a small victory. "Hey, let's take a break, Jeff," I urge. Shutting down our laptops, we exit the dark cold room we'd sat in with monitors, computers, servers, and many other electronic components all around us. One thing to remember, heat is the enemy of electronics, and for some strange reason, we enjoy freezing our asses off while hacking. Walking outside, Jeff lights up a cigarette and takes a drag. Putting on his sunglasses, he asks, "Want one?" No thanks, they really break my concentration. Don't seem to function too well with that in my system," I reply. Well, he scoffs and quietly whispers, "Amateur," while choking and coughing. I smile and look up. "Yeah, well, at least I can still breathe," I say, laughing, with a smile forming on my face. We begin walking to a nearby restaurant. My phone lights up and rings loudly. It's my supervisor. "Go for Barry," I speak confidently. My boss is breathing heavily into the phone and says sternly, "What's the news on Captain Death?" I begin to inform him on our progress and our struggles. "Keep me posted, Barry. Good work," he says. I'm not telling him Jeff did most of the work, and I do feel bad for taking credit for this one. Reaching the doors of the bar and grill, I notice a man sitting in the corner of the restaurant with his family. Jumping back quickly while peering around the corner, Jeff gives me a strange look as I inform him that the man is a fugitive from an earlier investigation. I call for backup and sit back in our unmarked unit, waiting for the cavalry to arrive as he's armed and extremely dangerous. 15 minutes pass as backup swarms the parking lot. We exit the vehicle and surround the building. Rushing in, 12 men strong, guns drawn, we make the arrest. Unfortunately, he did not resist. No civilians were harmed on the takedown. This man had been on the run for months, moving from state to state. I had previously set up a sting operation to illegally buy stolen guns from the man, which had been arranged through the deep web. However, this particular sting was an in-person arms deal. He appeared very spooked and got away from us before the transaction was made. After searching his panel van today, we found an entire armory of weapons. A few days pass. We now have a search warrant issued by the judge for his last known address, confiscating all his computers, hard drives, and weapons. Then my partner and I found a hidden room below the living room floorboards with $1.4 million in it. It also had passports and other documents. He was ready to flee the country for sure. So why he was out in public was beyond me, though oftentimes men like him feel like they are untouchable and above the law. Several weeks later, work has been slow. Not sure if that's good or bad. Until today, that is, when I begin chatting on forums and meeting interesting characters in chat rooms. both on the clear net and the deep web. Today I meet a dark, shadowy figure online. He claims to have worked with a group of hackers who specialize in debt and credit card theft online. While playing the part, I ask in a private chat, "Hey, how much does this pay?" Moments pass with no answer. I sit and wait for a response. A message appears with a link and a phone number. "Contact him for a trial run. If you do well, he'll set you up with further work," he writes. Well, I'm thinking for a moment, finally an adversary worth hunting. Typing quickly, I say, "Who is he? Do you know him personally?" He responds rapidly and the text box closes after he writes, "Rule number 1, no names." Fortunately, I was able to copy the link and phone number before my computer screen went completely blank. Reaching for the burner phone I had recently acquired, I began dialing the number provided. It rings several times. No answer. So I check out the link I copied. Right before I click on it, my phone lights up and rings beside me, forcing me to jump out of my seat. Startled, I look at the cell phone. Mildly confused as it reads, "Unknown number." Quickly I answer the phone. A man on the other end speaks. "How did you find this number?" he asks. I inform him I was searching online for a while. "I'm new and I'm looking for work." "Yeah, I was told you're the man to call if I wanted some action. Look, I need the money," I implore. "Competition is next week. Meet at this address. Winner gets a spot on my team. If you think you're up to the test, be on time," he demands. I thank him and abruptly hang up. Jeff comes over to my place. He has some info on low-level guys in the fraudulent stolen debit card scheme. Using an unmarked and totally not suspicious surveillance van, we follow a few men on their day-to-day operations. For the most part, this portion of our job is the worst. Very daunting and boring. Sitting and waiting isn't exactly as glamorous as the movies depict it to be. From what we can tell so far, these men are using credit card skimmers. Victims of credit card skimming are completely blindsided by the theft. They notice fraudulent charges on their accounts or money withdrawn from their accounts, but their credit and debit cards never left their possession. How did the theft happen? Well, you may be wondering, what exactly is this? Credit card skimming is a type of credit card theft where crooks use a small device to steal credit card information in an otherwise legitimate credit or debit card transaction. When a card is swiped through a skimmer, the device captures and stores all the details stored in the card's magnetic stripe. The stripe contains the credit card number and expiration date and the credit card holder's full name. Thieves use the stolen data to make fraudulent charges either online or with a counterfeit credit card. These men have been using these small devices all over the local area and surrounding states as well, targeting the nicer areas of town, attaching the devices to the ATMs, sitting a short distance away in their cars watching each victim approaching, laughing all the way to the bank, so to speak. After several days of stakeouts, our team makes the arrests, finding blank cards, machines, and large sums of cash on hand. After hours of interrogations, we learn a much bigger scheme is in the works. The men inform us that they were merely a distraction for a much larger crime. My supervisor gives us clearance to make a deal with them, lessening their charges if they're willing to cooperate. Speaking with the man for more than 3 hours, we learn what's really going on. The next few days were extremely tense as our officers try to warn all the banks and even get the media involved. Calling every bank, big and small, we alert them of the situation that cybercriminals are poised to carry out an ATM cash-out, an operation that gives thieves access to untold sums of money by bypassing security measures on an ATM. If successful, the operation has the potential to be a heist unlike any we've ever seen. Now, the FBI has obtained unspecified reporting indicating cybercriminals are planning to conduct a global automated teller machine cash-out scheme in the coming days, likely associated with an unknown card issuer breach and commonly referred to as an unlimited operation. These unlimited operations compromise financial institutions or payment processors by installing malware that allows hackers to exploit network access, allowing access at admin level. Once inside, they can disable fraud protection, raise maximum ATM withdrawal amounts and transaction limits, and withdraw large sums of money, millions potentially. All they'll need to carry out the attack are debit and credit card numbers found on the dark web, and dummy cards, also known as blanks, to attach the numbers to. These cybercriminals typically create fraudulent copies of legitimate cards by sending stolen card data to co-conspirators who imprint the data on reusable magnetic strip cards, such as gift cards purchased at retail stores. At a predetermined time, the co-conspirators withdraw account funds from ATMs using these cards. Now it's nearly a week later, and I'm preparing for my tests. I have my laptop ready in its case. I'm extremely nervous. The information given to me is that I am to meet at this very strange building on the outskirts of town. I have no idea what to expect. I must come in first place to become a member of the team and ultimately take down the leader of this cybercrime domestic terrorist. If things go according to plan, he could potentially put the entire country on its knees, and our banking systems would completely collapse. Chaos and madness will spread like wildfires. Millions of people unable to access their money will riot and destroy stores, stealing food and everything they can get their hands on. The police will be overrun and unable to do anything about it. The military would almost certainly be called in an attempt to regain order, and mass hysteria ensues, to extremes we've never seen before. So, I must stop him, before it's too late. The day has come. I just received the call I've long been avoiding. It's time. The competition for top-tier hackers are meeting at this building, which I'd believed to have been abandoned. We're in the surveillance van, heading towards our destination. Equipment's all packed up. I'm wearing a wire on my chest. Hopefully they don't pat me down upon entry. And Jeff is driving recklessly, as he has a bad habit of being late. We're testing the audio in the back of the van. Well, generally this is done days before an operation. However, we're rather short on time. Not pointing my fingers at anyone in particular. Leaving the city limits, we now enter a heavily wooded area. There's only one way in. The road's turning into rubble, and small rocks are shooting from our tires. Lights have faded behind us as we venture further into the forest. Jeff's now using high beams. We noticed it's grown quiet. Other than hearing the tires on the gravel of the road, there seems to be less and less wildlife in the area. I get this feeling like we're being watched. Checking my cell phone, I see we've lost all signal. This is a trap, I thought. Our other equipment seems to work just fine. I can begin to see dim lights in the distance. We must be nearing the competition now. Hey, you ready for this? Jeff asks while blowing smoke out of the window. I start to swat the backdraft of smoke billowing back into me. Yeah, I'm ready. Hey, you should really consider cutting back on those smokes, I utter. Just then a pack of Marlboros is hurled back in my direction. Hey, we're here, Barry. Make sure you have everything, Jeff commands. Yeah, I'm all set, I reply. Jeff stops the van on the gravel. Exiting the vehicle, I grab my backpack while adjusting my clothes. I found some regular glasses with regular lenses in them, so I'll look the part. Walking towards the building, I speak quietly into my chest microphone. Testing. Test chest mic. How do you read me? I ask. Jeff's growly voice comes into my earpiece. Loud and clear. Good luck, he responds. One thing I notice right away as my feet kick up against the rocks on the ground is that there's only one other vehicle other than ours. A large bus. Slightly confused, I look in every direction while also investigating this bus. Seems as though it's empty. Well, later I'd learn everyone else met up at a different location and they all took the bus to get here. Reaching the suspicious-looking building, I reach for the door handle. As the door opens with little force, loud music hits me, as well as bright flashing lights. What the hell? Walking around, I find what I was looking for in a back room. "Y'all late. Take a seat," a well-dressed man says. Seeing that there's one empty seat left, I grab my laptop from the bag. Booting it up and joining their local area network, the connection's established. Strange software automatically downloads on my laptop. The man who greeted me walks over to examine my screen. "We will wait until this participant's ready," he tells everyone else. Minutes pass and the program has finished installing. What's on my screen is a DoD login showing the username and password empty fields. "Okay, everyone. Your first task will be to crack the code and gain entry into this system. You have 10 minutes to access the servers and find the login information. The first 10 people who accomplish this task will advance to the next round. Good luck. Your time starts now," he explained. A voice comes over my earpiece once more. "Okay, Barry. I'm linked up with your laptop. I can see everything you see. I'll now control everything remotely." "How do you read?" Jeff says quietly. "I hear you. I'll let you take over from here," I reply. My colleague begins typing away like mad. It's been said he can type up to 153 words a minute. Looking at my screen, the computer is changing rapidly, each window appearing with different streams of code. Almost like you'd see in the movie The Matrix, which I suppose is a foreign language to most people. It can seem overwhelming at times, and normally I'd be doing this. But Jeff is far better and faster than I, so it's not worth the risk. This task is far too important. There's too much at stake here. As he continues going in through the firewall, more boxes open and close all over the screen. Well, I appear as if I'm typing away, as there's a man walking around watching each potential hacker perform their duties. Not sure if it's the leader of this anonymous group. He's in a dark suit, and all I can see is the flashes of light from each monitor. Or maybe it's just my paranoia, but I feel like he keeps shooting me these awfully suspicious looks. Come on, I have to stay focused. Come on, Barry, you need this. Concentrate. Keep your head in the game. I can't lose myself in the moment. Oh, wait a minute. I just now remembered. I'm not even in control of my machine. Well, Jeff, I sure as hell hope you know what you're doing. Oh, Barry, you do know I just heard everything you just said, right? Now shut the hell up and let me work. We only have 4 minutes left, Jeff urges. Well then, hurry up, you lung cancer having prick. I'm dying in here. It must be 90 degrees, I whisper. Just then, access granted appears on my screen. The login information has been hacked. Instantly I jump up as if I just won bingo. Yep, I'm in, I yell loudly to the man. He nods and another man comes over to confirm the legitimacy of my claim. After confirmation is given a few moments later, myself and several others are ushered to another room not first seen when you enter the building. First, we're taken down a flight of unkempt stairs, creaking and groaning with every step. Feeling as if it could go out at any moment, our group reaches the bottom of the stairs and are now on a platform. A mechanical whirring is heard as we are now being lowered even further underground. "Where the hell are we going?" one man asks in fear. "Silence, fool," says the man in a nice dark suit. Finally, the platform stops, and I'd approximate we're at least 80 feet underground now. A long dark hallway is before us, lit dimly by low-hanging lights, which never seem to end as far as we can see. Walking for several minutes, I no longer hear my associate in my earpiece, so I remove it quickly before anyone notices. There's a musty smell that's disturbed me since we first came down here. It grows stronger the closer we get to the direction we're headed. I'm the last one in line, ahead only of what I assume is a hired goon. Stopping for a moment, I'm pushed forward on my upper back near my shoulders. God, I swear if I wasn't trying to save the world right now, I just take out my service pistol and blow this cocksucker away. I'm sure no one would miss him. We reach a large old wooden door with absolutely no handle or markings of any kind. The leader pushes up against the wall near the door, and it opens slowly. Everyone pours in single file. There's a large wooden table with chairs almost like a conference room. "Take your seats, please," the leader addresses. "You're all probably wondering what the hell we're doing down here. Well, you're here for a job, and also I didn't want any interference of any kind. Just in case the government is watching us. Well, there's no way they could possibly hear what's being said this far underground," he explains. "Congratulations to each of you that has moved on to the next round. You 10 have been chosen to advance to the next stage in the competition. This following task will include various stages of difficulty. You'll be chosen at random by a computer, so it's completely fair. Each of you are to hack into some of the world's largest banks and bring down their servers. Please come back to this location. Your names have been taken down and we shall contact you if anything changes. I expect to see all of you back with us, same time next week, 6 days from now. Well, that's all for now. Thank you." The leader finishes and leaves the room first. Each man is muttering and chatting loudly. I can hear only bits and pieces as everyone is talking so loudly. Minutes pass and we're escorted out of the building, and everyone begins walking towards the bus. But I veer towards my van, and am stopped by the same man who pushed me earlier. "Just where the hell do you think you're going?" he asks. "Oh, I didn't get the meetup spot. I had to drive here," I respond, while swatting away his hand from my shoulder. The man reaches into his pocket, pulling out a card. "Be at this location and be on time, or we'll find someone else," the man urges. I snatch the card and stuff it into my wallet. Reaching the van, I hop in and drive away. "What the hell happened in there?" Jeff demands. I begin informing him of everything that took place and explain the situation. He nods and tells me good work. Wait a minute. This doesn't look right. Jeff looks at me puzzled. Something is off. I don't remember any of this. Now there's a fork in the road. Is this the way we came? I thought I remembered it only being a one-way in and one-way out. "Hey, you went off the gravel road. Move over, let me drive," Jeff says. "Hey, sorry man, I'm a hacker, not a tracker. Let's just get the hell out of here. I'm more lost than Atlantis." About an hour passes and Jeff somehow gets us out of the woods and back to the main road. We head back towards my house, but suddenly he makes a detour. Screw this man, after all that, I need a damn drink. You down? Jeff asks. "Well, in the words of my father, if you have time to think, you have time to drink," I utter proudly. Then again, Dad was a major alcoholic, so perhaps that's bad advice. "Well, all right then," Jeff says as he floors the gas pedal. Roughly 20 minutes later, we arrive at his favorite bar where he immediately opens up a tab. I'm worried as I've heard he drinks like a fish. Not to mention we're both armed in a bar. Yeah, that's illegal, but screw you, I'm an FBI agent. Remember folks, laws are made to be broken, otherwise I'd be out of a job. Oh, crap. I think I've lost my colleague. I begin walking around the establishment and am stunned to see this gorgeous blonde woman cross my path. We strike up a conversation, and I soon forget about Jeff. He's a grown man, I'm sure he'll be fine. She asks what I do for work, and of course I lie. You never know when you need to run a background check on someone. Besides, telling the whole world you're an undercover FBI agent isn't exactly the best idea, or so the Bureau instructed us. We continued chatting for a while and eventually part ways, as it had begun to get late into the night. We exchange numbers and she leaves gracefully. I walk outside to see the van still parked in the same spot. A bit puzzled, I go over to inspect the van, thinking maybe he just passed out in the front seat. I arrive at the driver's side door and open it to find all our equipment gone, and Jeff is nowhere to be found. Freaking out, I run back into the bar, searching all over, even behind the bar next to the register. The bathrooms are empty, and it's closing time. I have no idea where he went. Did he leave with someone? Or was he abducted, possibly? Well, either way, I'm completely dead if my supervisor finds out about this. I have to find him and the equipment. And who the hell was that girl? Could she have something to do with this? I need answers. Oh no, I just realized my laptop is also missing. God, if that information gets in the wrong hands, it could have catastrophic consequences. Part 3. Unsure of what to do and scared to death, I do the only thing that makes sense to me. Fight or flight kicks in, and since I'm the only one here, I chose flight. It's 2:30 in the morning. I've run a mile in every direction. No sign of Jeff. No answer on his cellular. The bar's now closed. Manager of the joint locks all the doors, checks the windows, and leers in my direction. Standing there, winded and frustrated, so many bad ideas rush to my brain, and fear kicks in. Hey, find what you're looking for, pal? The man asks, his voice sounding like 30 years of emphysema. Jeff? I say, excitedly. My head raises and turns to face him. Oh, it's just you, I reply. Not exactly. Hey, did you happen to see a man in the bar tonight wearing jeans and a blue polo t-shirt? The man speaks once more. Son, we get all kinds of patrons in that there bar. Maybe you ought to come by tomorrow and see if he shows up then. We open at 12 p.m. Yeah, thanks, I respond. Well, it's late, and I'm exhausted. Oh, Jeff, I sure hope you're okay wherever you are. So I hop in the van, now empty. No equipment, no laptops. Just gone. Everything is gone. Who could have known? I just don't understand. I'm simply bewildered. I'm telling you, well, I'm more confused than Ray Charles with a Where's Waldo book. Van keys are in my right front pocket. They jingle as I reach for them, removing the keys and insert the proper key into the ignition. Turning her over, the engine purrs quietly. She heats up as we take off. Wait, never mind. I'm all alone. Looking back in the van, just to be sure. Nope, just me. Time to get back home and go to sleep, and hope that this is all just one bad dream. Arriving at my apartment, I'm shocked to see lamps broken, papers flung across the room, empty bottles littered about. There's a few brown leather bags next to my sofa. I flip on the light switch to the living room. It flickers on and off before becoming bright. All I see is shoes hanging off the edge of the cushion. Hey, I live alone. Reaching for my service pistol, I let out the most fierce yell I could. Hey, let me see your hands. FBI, put 'em up. No movement detected. Slowly inching towards the sofa, once more repeating the same command. Not gonna say this again. Get your damn hands up in the air now. The man groans and falls to the floor, awakening as he hits his head on a nearby coffee table. A familiar voice is heard, groaning even more as he speaks. Hey man, would you keep it down? I'm trying to sleep, he utters, barely able to even coherently put two words together. Just then an empty beer bottle is thrown in my direction as I finally realize. Jeff, I say, shocked. How'd you get in my apartment? Where's all the gear? What happened to you? How'd you get here? I speak quickly as I'm clearly frantic and upset. Jeff bats his eyes, trying to adjust to the light, grunting as he picks himself off the floor. Sitting upright, he exclaims, Calm down, you drunken Irish coon. Well, listen, I had a few drinks. Saw that you were busy and didn't want to interrupt. We were supposed to drink just a little and leave, but no, you just had to hook up with a woman. You just couldn't control yourself. I had to be the responsible one for once. Grabbed all the gear from the van. I didn't think it'd be safe, unattended like that. Called a taxi, and here we are. I remembered where you had your spare key, above the doorway. Oh, not for nothing, but that ain't really a great spot to keep it, he explains with a slurred speech. Jeff then leans forward to unveil all the electronics, including my laptop that was sitting in the leather bags next to him. Oh, God, you had me terrified. Meet the gear, the empty van, the woman, I just had no clue. God, I looked everywhere for you. Jeff cuts me off. Obviously the hell you didn't. I mean, I'm right here, he yells while reaching for an unfinished beer. Shaking my head, I walk towards my bedroom after locking the front door. Yeah, we'll talk about this tomorrow, I say, turning off the lights and leaving the living room. Hey, I'm still drinking. Jeff's voice echoes throughout the hallways. Good night, I respond while closing my bedroom door. The long night has drained me, like you wouldn't believe. The relief I'm now feeling, knowing the gear has not gone into the wrong hands. Well, I'm beginning to drift asleep just thinking about my bed, falling onto my mattress. And I'm out as soon as my face hits the pillow. It's the next day, and my apartment is wrecked from my new guest. There he lays, covered in his own filth. The stench of alcohol fills my apartment. My judgment is clouded after the previous night. I mean, who was that woman? I have her number. I'll contact a colleague to retrieve more information on this new friend. Must focus, no more distractions. It's still days away that the 10 hackers who advanced meet once more. We're given a task to break into the service of various banks. Well, believe it or not, despite having world-renowned hacker consultants such as Kevin Mitnick, who I have immense respect for, many of these financial institutions today still use primitive-style internet security systems. For instance, the local credit union in our area has been hit hard from user faults such as accessing bank databases from public workstations. Basically, by having public workstations or access points, you're not connected to a secure network. If a workstation that anyone can use or reboot is connected to a secure resource, you can't guarantee it's secure. Keyloggers, compromised network encryption clients, and other tricks of the malicious security hackers' trade can all allow someone unauthorized access to sensitive data, regardless of all the secured networks, encrypted communications, and other networking protections you employ. One of the most common attacks is using single-level verification for access to sensitive data. Password authentication is more easily cracked than cryptographic key-based authentication. The purpose of a password is to make it easier to remember the login credentials needed to access a secure resource. However, biometric or key-based authentication is a stronger verification method which makes the credentials more difficult to crack. Well, we're seeing an uptick in social engineering as well. Manipulation of authorities into giving confidential information. Essentially, what that comprises of is someone who contacts a bank employee via phone call, or email, or so on. They pretend to be a supervisor and eventually trick that mark into giving them login details, which now allows the potential hacker to obtain and download the company's source code. This can be done with any company and is extremely common. Hey, I apologize if I'm getting too technical here, but it's very important for everyone to understand their vulnerabilities when it comes to internet security, online banking, and other such things. In fact, I'd say being overly paranoid in your day-to-day life is highly recommended. Not afraid, just aware. Shred your documents. Never save your passwords online for a site. Do not write them down or save them in an unencrypted file on your computer or phone. These things are just a few. Hey, it's midday, and Jeff drunkenly rolls off the couch to awaken to me setting up the equipment on my desk. I turn around to face him, tossing him some nitrile gloves, paper towels, and multi-purpose cleaning spray. Hey, take care of this mess. Pick up all those bottles off the floor and we'll get started. There's much work to be done today, I urge. Jeff clears his throat. You got any coffee, Barry? I need to get my drink on, he exclaims. Middle cupboard, above the sink, top shelf. Help yourself, I respond while connecting my laptop to a secure network. I need to practice gaining access to some of our local banks. Our next task will be hacking into a financial institution chosen at random. Yeah, I need to prepare myself for anything. Jeff, I want to create a banking application for smartphones that could be used to gain accounting numbers, routing numbers, and login details. Could you make one with only 5 days left? I inquire. He looks up at me while picking up bottles from the floor. Negative, Ghost Rider. I need more time, Jeff says with a grin. Oh, I knew you were a rookie when I first met you, Jeff. I respond with a smirk. Usually, a bank will supply an official app from which you can log in and check your account. While convenient, this has become a key attack vector for malware authors. This is a potential strategy implemented for tricking users with fake banking apps. However, the simpler means of attack is by spoofing an existing banking app. A malware author creates a perfect replica of a bank's app and uploads it to third-party websites. Once you've downloaded the app, you enter your username and password into it, which is then sent to the hacker, essentially using a keylogger. Now, we've been driving around a bit today and decided upon this mid-sized bank. We connect with the branch manager and explain to him that we aim to test their cybersecurity protocols. This is a standard operation within the FBI. Our first priority is to find the vulnerabilities in their systems so that cyber criminals don't find them first. Jeff calls our supervisor to get the go-ahead. The manager escorts us to a back office. It appears to be a conference room. We set up our gear and thank the man. We'll get started soon. Let you know our findings, I say while giving the manager a nod and shaking his hand. He appears puzzled but doesn't question us. Unfortunately, that's the problem today. No one seems to question authority anymore, or even know their God-given rights. Well, I digress here. Jeff is first to be connected to the network. Quickly he begins attacking their first firewall, protecting the login feature. He informs me it's an old system with 128-bit encryption. Given the year, they should be upgraded to at least an AES 256-bit encryption or higher. Jeff has acquired access to their servers now. Dumped in a Hydra, which is a multi-headed password cracker used to sniff out digital footprints across an encrypted network, which in turn allows Jeff to go in and modify the code. The bank's intrusion detection system, IDS, logs every packet sent. Now it's paramount not to leave a trace we were even here on their network. Here, I'm done, Jeff says with a yawning motion, raising a hand to cover his mouth. Shocked, I run over to him, leaning over the top of his laptop. Get out of here, you didn't just... Hey, I only began to load up my system. I mean, how? I say with a defeated tone. Jeff smiles and looks up to me as he kicks his feet up on the table. Listen here, son. While you were playing Battleship, I was hacking into NASA. So maybe show a little professional courtesy to your associate and give me the respect I damn well deserve. Or I'll find someone else. I cut him off. Oh, listen here, damn it. Remember one thing. I'm in charge of this operation. You're a convicted felon. One phone call and your ass is back in federal prison, I say loudly. Jeff laughs. Calm down, Barry. I'm only breaking your balls. Did you just get out of the academy or something? The manager walks by the room and sticks his head in. Yo, everything okay in here, guys? The man inquires. Jeff responds. Yeah, we're all finished up in here, boss. Looks like you guys are in the Stone Age as far as computer security is concerned. And here's what I recommend. Get a hold of your IT guys and let them know you'll need to upgrade to an AES 256-bit encryption or higher. Otherwise, your branch is a sitting duck, waiting to be hacked into. Well, that'll be 50 grand. Cough it up, old man. What? The manager says in shock. I'm just messing with you. Now, open the vault, Jeff says, laughing while slapping the guy on his back as he exits the room. Shaking my head in disbelief, I make eye contact with him once more. Yeah, thank you, sir, for your time and allowing us access to your machines. You're all set. Have a great day. We then walk out of the bank and toss our gear into the back of the van. Jeff, what in the hell was that? I ask. Oh, lighten up, will you? I'm just having some fun, Jeff says while lighting up a cigarette. Damn, how many cartons of those do you have, Jeff? I inquire. Oh, hell, enough not to live to be 90 like that old bastard in there, Jeff says while pointing to a man in a coffee shop. How old are you anyway? I ask while closing the rear van doors. Shut up, Barry. Get in the van. I'm hungry. Maybe later we can go to a bar and... Jeff tries to continue. Oh, no, not that again. What? Jeff responds. Listen, Jeff, I got something I need you to do for me. Remember that woman from the bar? Yeah. Jeff nods. Yeah, well, a buddy of mine in the bureau ran her phone number and found out some interesting details pertaining to previous work histories. I explain. Okay, so, why are you telling me? I don't give a damn where she worked. Jeff scoffs. I reach in my backpack, pulling out a folder. Here's her file. Study it, and then follow her. I want to know her habits, who she hangs out with. If she has large dogs. Everything, understood? I say with a serious look on my face. So you want me to just stalk this woman and report back to you? What is this? I don't understand. I mean, who is she? Jeff asks, clearly confused. Well, that's what I want to know. Something isn't right about this woman. I'm going to drop you off at your place. You have her info. We then jump in the van and I begin heading to Jeff's house. He's looking over the file. He has the same expression I had when I first saw it. Flipping through the pages, I can tell Jeff is just as perplexed about this woman as I am. Hey, this file, most of it's redacted. The other half's blacked out. I see her automotive information and address on here, but... Jeff stops as he looks at me. Yeah, that's why he needs you to follow her. Right, we're here. Call me in a few days, Jeff. This is important. Jeff exits the van, folder in hand, grabbing his keys. Oh, yes, sir, petty officer, he says while saluting. Don't do that, I shout back at him. Pressing down the gas pedal, I begin to drive off. What I didn't tell Jeff was this woman's record is sealed. That although I have a top-secret security clearance, even I can't access everything on her file. Special Agent Johnson, my friend in the bureau, assured me that it was complete, and that's all he could find on her. Something's not right. Why would her record not be made public? Who's she working for? DEA? Secret Service? CIA? If we don't find out who this woman is in time, it could jeopardize this entire operation. Part 4. Well, hello everyone. It's Jeff here. Yep, the criminal. Well, I think Barry's just jealous that I'm a better hacker than he is. Hell with it. Enough about that. Look, listen, I've been given permission to write here, so suppose it's only fair that I update you guys on what's going on. Barry handed me this envelope with very little information regarding this woman he met at the bar. I don't really know what this is all about. I've contacted a buddy of mine who, well, let's just say is on the other side of the law. I passed her information, or what I was given, on to this person who we'll call Matt. Now we go way back. Hell, he helped me on my first hack with Bell South many moons ago. The good old days, back before I was in the federal penitentiary. Not gonna get into why or how I was caught. Let's just say that you can't trust anyone, especially other criminals. However, when services rendered are in order, they generally go smoothly. No hacker wants to lose business. Although Matt is a friend, even he doesn't work for free. I wire my associate some privacy coins as payment. Minutes later, a message appears on my computer. The file opens. Okay, here we go. Now, this one is not fully redacted. It reads the following. Sarah M. Pearson, 29 years old, never married, no pets, lives alone, and apparently works as a computer systems analyst for Lockheed Martin within their black budget projects. Oh, this is interesting. Very interesting. She was recruited right out of college to work initially for the Department of Defense. The rest of her file between the ages of 22 to 26 is blank. No records of her whereabouts or work history during that time. Now, at this point, I'm not exactly sure who or what we're dealing with, and I'll need to learn her every move to gain more intel on this mysterious figure. Now, it's the next day, and I've located her house, sitting roughly 120 feet away from her driveway. I'm sitting in a retired police cruiser, the 2011 Crown Victoria to be precise. Now, this particular vehicle has reinforced suspension and overhauled dual-cover headcams with an extra battery beneath the seats. Though the lights and sirens have been lifted from the car, it still has everything else, including the engine's power and 3% black-tinted windows. I reckon you're wondering how I got this car. Now, truth be told, it's Barry's. He let me borrow it for the express purposes of following this woman. I gotta say, it sure does feel weird sitting in the front seat of one of these. First time for me, anyway. Hey, it's like Barry always says, laws are made to be broken, otherwise I'd be out of a job. Yeah, well, you better be grateful people like me exist. You federal employee badge-carrying SOB. God. Now, I'll make sure to log everything that happens. Barry didn't instruct me to do so, but knowing me, I'll probably forget half of what goes on here. Sarah drives a newer black SUV. Her house is in a nice part of town. Though she has a garage, it appears empty. Strange, I think, especially for a cautious woman like herself. It's now a cat-and-mouse game of hide-and-seek. Who's following who? Now, Sarah is smart not to leave her blinds open. Curtains are drawn. I can see the outline of a woman walking throughout the house. It's quiet in this neighborhood. Well-groomed yards, no trash on the sidewalks, not a whole lot of action so far. An old woman's growing closer. Slowly, but surely she approaches. With her in tow is a small poodle. God, I wish I had a companion right now, and a few cold ones. This better be worth it. I didn't sign up for a wait-a-thon. Sarah spends the majority of her time in the front room of the house. Doesn't seem to be a TV on. I can only track her vague movements in 3 rooms of her place. And without getting too close, there isn't much more I can see. I've asked Barry if there was a way to bug her house, so at least we could have some audio recordings of her phone calls. He said that no judge would approve of it without probable cause. Well, Barry never said I couldn't do it. Unfortunately, all of my equipment and tools of the trade were confiscated when I was last arrested. As a felon, and due to the nature of my crimes, I am prohibited from owning certain devices. Well, at least I still have a driver's license. Suppose that's something to drink to. Sitting here for a few hours now, and admittedly I became a little bored, so I texted a random cell phone number and said, "Right, I hit the party. Now what?" No response. Go figure, right? How can a man have some fun? Jeez, I love messing with people. Wait, here she is. Sarah's opening the front door. Okay, she's exiting the house wearing a runner's outfit. Removing her keys, she locks both the door handle and the deadbolts. Not exactly foolproof. There's a security system sticker and banner located in the yard, and another near the main entrance of the house. One of those can be bypassed rather easily. Now, if she had 2 German shepherds, I'd be in trouble. Sarah's jogging north, away from my position. Damn, I'll lose sight soon. No way I can tail her for now. Marking my stopwatch, it's now 3:45 p.m. Let's see how long she runs for. That way I can see my window of time I'll have in order to snoop around when she's gone. I did recently acquire a lock-picking kit. While not necessarily illegal in itself to own, it is, however, someone like me. What are you going to do, arrest me, Barry? Well, now, I'm literally stalking a woman. No way this is by the books. Sipping my coffee while looking at today's paper. It's been about 20 minutes. I can see Sarah approaching the neighborhood at a brisk walk. It's 4:04 p.m. She's now back home. I've taken multiple pictures using a 4K resolution Nikon ZFC camera. This particular unit is 20.9 megapixels with an APS-C sensor. Yeah, the photos are crisp and clean. Sarah's in the house for another 25 minutes before reappearing outside once more. Now again, she's careful to lock the door's handle and deadbolt. Now entering her SUV. She begins driving south, passing my vehicle. I make a sharp U-turn to follow her. We've been driving now for 30 minutes or more. We're still in the city limits, but are getting close to a nearby forest. Moments later, we're now out of the city, onto country roads. Hey, I remember this area, so I keep my distance. Barry and I were here not too long ago. Sarah veers off onto this gravel road. It's the exact same path we took for the contest. I can't follow her further, or my cover will almost definitely be blown. Could she be trying to lose me? Is she going to that same building? Time for me to make a call. Driving back into town, my phone rings 3 times before he finally answers. Yo, Barrius Maximus. Wait, what? Oh, screw you. I'll call you whatever I want, and get over it. Now, listen. I got some bad news. I've been following her like you asked. Well, I got a bit of a situation here. Yeah, she's at the hacker building from before. At least that's the direction she went into. Yeah, that's right, the one in the woods. No, look, she didn't see me. I stopped trailing her once I saw her turn into the forest. What do you want me to do? Roger that. Terminate pursuit. Hey, so Barry... I got a little bored and went muddling earlier. Yeah, she needs a good cleaning. Look, I'll drop her off at your place later. Well, I hang up the phone and nearly crashed the car, dying of laughter. That upright son of a bitch needs a vacation. Well, my job's done for the day. I ought to spoil myself with a fresh new look. Off to a nearby barber. Driving for nearly 15 minutes, I come across a small, local-owned shop. It appears empty. I park the car and walk in. The door has a bell that chimes as you open it. I speak confidently. Hey, excuse me, sir, I need a haircut if you ain't too busy. You old Italian son of a bitch prick barber. Damn, boy, does my ass hurt from all the guys at my construction job. The old man pauses for a moment. Wearing a white coat, he begins fastening the buttons. Now, that's one hell of a greeting. Have a seat right over there. What can I do for you today, young man? He asks politely. Try not to make me look like a complete wuss, would you? I asked jokingly. Too late for that. The old man banters back while combing my hair. Just a little off the top and one on the side, please, I expressed with a smile. Well, hell, you ain't got much left. What you want me to do with it? He responds. How long's it been, John? 5 years since we last saw one another? Yeah, I reckon that sounds about right. You've only gotten uglier since the last time you graced me with your presence, Jet. He scoffs. Yep, that's how it goes. Say, how's the wife doing these days? I implore. Not too good. She's dead. Yeah, I guess she got tired of me after all these years and jumped right out in front of a moving bus, he explains. Oh, sorry to hear that, John, but I'm about to do the damn same thing if you don't hurry the hell up. Yeah, she always was a pain in my ass. Reckon it's a blessing. I got no one to nag at me all day. Just this poor old little hound dog. Got a missing ear. Damn thing was attacked a year ago. Well, you're all wrapped up. That'll be $12, Jeff. Good seeing you again. Yeah, you too, John. Here's $40. Have a few drinks on me. Take care, old friend. I leave the barber shop to head back to Barry's and drop off his cruiser. You're probably wondering what that was all about back there. Well, John took me in when I was younger. My dad was pinched on a job and then went south. put behind bars for 11 years, breaking and entering, and robbery. One of the crew he was with shot a pregnant woman. He was also charged with that despite not pulling the trigger. Fortunately, she and her baby survived. Well, John looked after me for years, despite the fact I was a pest. Constantly in fights, being suspended from school, expelled twice, in and out of juvenile detention centers for petty crimes. He did his best to help raise me, but I was always a rebel. Cheers to you, old man. You saved my ass on a number of occasions. With all the evil in the world today, it's nice to know there's still some good. Finally arriving back at Barry's apartment. Banging on the entry door, I yell, "Yo, Maximus, open up. Got what you need. Got the good stuff." The door flies open. "Hey, would you keep it down out here?" Barry whispers. "Come on in." "Well, I like what you've done with the place. Where's all your furniture?" I ask quizzically. Barry responds, "Well, after your recent visit, I had to toss it all since you decided to leave cigarette burn marks and spilled beer all over the apartment." "Well, I'll tell you one thing, you throw one hell of a party," I say, laughing. "I didn't throw a party. You broke in," he fires back. "Well, technically I used a key," I say while smiling. "This can't happen again, Jeff," he demands. "Oh, don't worry. It won't, I promise. You won't have any furniture left." "Geez, Jeff, what in the hell happened to you? I asked you to follow the woman, not get into a fight with a lawnmower and lose." "Ah, there he is. I knew there was a human inside there somewhere. Welcome to Earth, Barry." Shaking his head, he says with a sigh, "Oh, okay, what do you got for me, Jeff?" "Well, apparently more resources than you have. I obtained an unredacted file on our friend. Took some photos and logged all of her movements. Now here's everything I have on her," I say while handing over the camera and a manila folder. He looks over the file, flipping pages. Lockheed Martin. Black budget projects. Damn, what could she possibly be involved with? Hey, good work, Jeff. I need to make some phone calls. I'll see you later. Toss him the keys to the Crown Vic and head out of the building and down the stairs. Leaving his apartment, my car is parked out front. It's now nighttime, and my curiosity takes over. I think I'll go pay Sarah one last visit for the night. Driving for roughly 20 minutes, I'm back in her neighborhood. I wait, and I wait. Eventually, I see her SUV returning in the driveway. Quickly, I exit my car, slamming the door closed. I don a black ski mask. She's getting out of her vehicle. Picking up the pace, I go into a full sprint towards her. Something comes over me as I slam her up against her SUV. Her head hits the glass window on the driver's side. She falls to the ground. I pin her down, screaming, "Leave him alone. If I see you again, it'll be your last breath, do you hear me?" I release my grip from her throat. She begins choking and coughing. Trying to catch her breath, she freaks out and reaches for a pocket knife. I grab her wrist as she makes a stabbing motion towards me. Fighting for the knife, she kicks me multiple times. I grab her wrist with the hand holding the knife and slam it against her SUV. She drops it to the ground. A punch strikes my chest as she perfectly hits the sternum. I fall back down and pick up the knife. I stab her in the leg. The knife's blade goes all the way into the handle. Adrenaline still rushing, I freak out and run away. I jump in my car and flee. God, what? I only meant to scare her. But Sarah lays there screaming in agonizing pain, slowly bleeding out. Breathing heavily, I speak out loud. Oh, jeez, what have I done? Well, there we get a bit of the story from the other perspective, and things are really starting to hot up now. Hope you're enjoying this series as it continues along. I certainly am. Anyway, that's it for your Friday evening's entertainment. back again this weekend with lots of good stuff. Not quite sure yet, but I still have to finish that meat locust story, don't I? I keep promising week after week. Well, my schedule's cleared up a bit, so I've got a lot of time on my hands, more than for the last couple of weeks anyway. So hope to get that done on Sunday. Finally! Well, my dear friends, hope you all have a wonderful weekend regardless. And, as always, very sweet dreams and bye-bye. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this story today. Really means a lot to me and to the author of the story, of course. Well, if you want to know more about me, I'm pretty much everywhere on social media. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can download my music on SoundCloud. I've got a Patreon if you feel like. Throw me $1 or $2. Very much appreciated. And of course, on Reddit, I have a place where you can leave stories if you want me to read one that you've written. Well, hoping to see you all again very soon. Till then, sweet dreams. Bye-bye.